Good afternoon, Virginia. I am Abigail Spanberger, and I am excited that we are going to win in 3 days. Thank you all for being here today. What an incredible crowd. And what an incredible moment this is for Virginia. I am thrilled to be here in Norfolk, and I am honored to be joined on stage in a few minutes by President Barack Obama. On Tuesday, we are going to send a message that Virginia is turning the page. So let me ask you, is Virginia ready for leadership that puts our Commonwealth first? You know, we are approaching the end of a nearly 2-year-long journey. Almost 2 years of campaigning across every corner of this beautiful Commonwealth. From Farmville to Fairfax, from Wytheville to Woodbridge, and from Pennington Gap to Portsmouth, P-Town's in the house. We have 3 more days until the end of this chapter. And Virginia, do you know what makes this moment so special? It's all of you, because on Tuesday night, the whole country will be watching what it is that we do. This is our moment, and I cannot wait to see what we do with it. Looking out at this amazing crowd, I see so many friends I grew up with here in Virginia, friends from my time serving in Congress representing Virginia's 7th District, and friends I have made across our Commonwealth as I have been running for governor. It is amazing to think about the journey that we have taken together, and as I ask for Virginians to put their trust in me as our next governor, I would like to tell you why I am running. It is because I want to serve Virginia. I grew up in Henrico County, and our house was a house of service. My father, an Army veteran and then a career law enforcement officer. My mother, a nurse and a volunteer and advocate in all things. They always used to say there is no higher calling than service to our country. And I grew up knowing that I wanted to follow in my dad's footsteps. And I did. First, as a federal agent working narcotics cases, going after child predators, cracking down on money launderers. And from there, I went on to serve as a CIA case officer, working counterterrorism cases, serving undercover, working to keep the American people safe. Every day, my colleagues and I came together to work on behalf of the American people, and we were focused on a mission, keeping the American people safe. But this mission, focus, this commitment to country, it isn't unique to me or to my family. It is ingrained in so many Virginia families. It is part of Virginia's story. Virginia is where American democracy was born. And Virginia is where we are still working to perfect it today. Virginia is where James Madison built the framework for a constitutional system strong enough to move a young nation away from tyranny. And Virginia is where Barbara Johns, a young 16-year-old student from Farmville, led a student walkout that became part of the Brown v. the Board of Education case. Virginia has been and Virginia will be an example for the rest of the country. And come Tuesday, the eyes of all Americans will turn to see the results of this election. And once again, like we always do, Virginia will show leadership. Virginia will set an example. And that is what I love about our Commonwealth. And it is why my husband Adam and I are so proud to call Virginia our home. You see, back in 2014, we were living on the West Coast, stationed there with my job at CIA after spending time overseas. And we were getting ready to bid on our next post. And with CIA, you can go anywhere in the world. And so we said to our oldest daughter, we have 3 beautiful, amazing daughters, and we said to our oldest daughter, who was in kindergarten at the time, where do you think we should go? We pulled out a globe. We said, what do you think? Kenya, England, where should we go? We can go anywhere. Where should we bid? And she said, Virginia. And we said, no. No, with Mommy's job, we can't go back to Virginia. And she said, well, why wouldn't we go to Virginia? Everyone we love lives in Virginia. And so we decided to pivot from a path of service to country to service to community, because she was right. Everyone we love lives in Virginia. And now there are so many more people we love across Virginia. We came back home and we invested in the community that had made my husband and I who we are. I volunteered with Moms Demand Action. I started a Girl Scout troop. And then in 2017, I decided to run for Congress. And I'll be honest, and many of you were there, back then they told me it was a crazy endeavor. No Democrat had won the 7th district in 50 years. And my predecessor had won his race by 15 points just 2 years prior. But I saw what Donald Trump was doing with his executive power and how he was pitting neighbor against neighbor. And I saw my member of Congress over and over again vote to repeal the Affordable Care Act. And I knew I had to do something. So spoiler, I won. And then I won again. And then again. And while I was serving in Congress, I worked with anybody and everybody to deliver results for the people of my district. I worked to lower drug costs and the price of insulin, to combat the fentanyl crisis, to support our nation's veterans, and to finally get more than 50,000 Virginia public servants, retired teachers, firefighters, police officers, and federal employees the Social Security benefits they had been denied. They had been denied for 40 years. That is the job of a public servant. And you might not know it looking at the news these days, but it's true. Come January, when I'm sworn in as the 75th governor, as the 75th governor of Virginia, that's what I will do. I will continue to serve Virginians, working with everybody and anybody to do right by all of you and our neighbors across Virginia. Now, I don't have to tell you all the stakes of this election. They are high. And with the political turmoil coming out of Washington right now, this election is an opportunity. Because in just 3 more days, when the polls close, Virginia voters can and will send a message. Amid the recklessness and the heartlessness coming out of Washington, Virginia can and will flip statewide seats from red to blue. We're the only state, in our case a Commonwealth, the only state in America that can say that this year, the only one. And we have critical elections on Tuesday for the House of Delegates. We have candidates running in all 100 districts this year. And we have truly amazing candidates to get excited about this year. In every corner of our Commonwealth, we have people who want to serve their communities, who want to bring the voices of their neighbors to Richmond. In every corner of the Commonwealth, there is a Democrat running for a House of Delegates. And at this moment, it is on us to send a message. On every major issue facing Virginia's families, my opponent is focused on the wrong things. Now, in Virginia, we need a governor who will recognize that Virginians are struggling to afford the rising costs in health care, housing, and energy. We do not need someone who will support a terrible law that will raise costs on housing and energy while giving tax breaks to billionaires and corporations, all the while decimating Virginia's health care. We need a governor who will support the thousands upon thousands of Virginia's families whose livelihoods have been disrupted or destroyed because of DOGE and now this government shutdown. We do not need someone who has said that losing a job isn't a real issue when we have Virginians who have dedicated themselves to service to our country, who have lost their jobs because of bad policies. And a reckless administration. We need a governor who will speak up when careless, chaotic, reckless economic policies out of Washington hurt our economy, raising costs for families, making it harder for small business owners to survive, and crushing Virginia's farmers. We do not need someone who has been in lockstep with this administration every step of the way. Now, make no mistake about it, these attacks on Virginia's economy are creating challenges. And we need a governor who will stand up against them and also plan for a brighter, better future.
Abigail! Abigail! Abigail!
So, Virginia, my fellow Virginians, let me be as clear as I possibly can be. I will always stand up for Virginia families. I will always work to grow our economy. And I will always put Virginia, not a president, not a party, first. Abby is much easier than Abigail, isn't it? And much better than Spanberger. So let me tell you what the next 3 days are really about. They're about you, and they're about all of us deciding what kind of Virginia that we want to wake up to on Wednesday morning. It's about you. And it's about all of us deciding whether we want to live in a Virginia that fights for working families or one that doesn't. It's about you and all of us deciding whether we live in a Virginia that protects our freedoms or one that doesn't. And all of us are the ones that will make that choice. All of us, we have that power. But the results on Tuesday, they don't just reflect what it is that we are against. The results on Tuesday will be a reflection of what it is that we are for. Because throughout this campaign, I have released detailed blueprints for Virginia's future. Because you deserve to know what I am for. And what I want to do for you when serving you as your governor. Because Virginians deserve a governor with a plan to work every day to lower costs for Virginia families. And I have my Affordable Virginia plan to lower health care costs, to lower energy costs, and to make it more affordable for Virginians to buy a home, rent a home, or stay in their home. You deserve a governor who will make sure our public schools are the very best in the nation. I have 3 daughters in Virginia public schools. This is personal to me, and it is personal to so many of us. And that's why my Strengthening Virginia Schools plan will make sure that every parent, grandparent, or somebody who knows and loves a child will know that we are setting our kids up for success. And you deserve a governor who will work with Democrats and Republicans to grow our economy and not stand by while Virginia's workforce is under attack. You deserve a governor who will work to bring good-paying jobs to every corner of our Commonwealth. And that's my Growing Virginia plan. They aren't just talking points. They're actionable policies that I am ready to implement on day one. And I know how to get it done by bringing people together, by leaving the rhetoric at home, and by never forgetting that our mission is to serve Virginia. That's what's at stake on Tuesday. So now voters have a choice to make, and I know there's a lot to consider. Here's the truth. The contrast in this campaign, it's not just about policy. It's also about approach. In Congress, I worked with Democrats and Republicans to get results for Virginia families. I had bills signed into law by a Republican president and a Democratic president. And year after year, I was ranked as the most bipartisan member of Congress from Virginia. And I was ranked as the most effective legislator in both the House and the Senate on agriculture issues. And my friends, I grew up in the suburbs and cannot even keep a basil plant alive. But my approach is to work with people. My approach is to endeavor to understand what is working and make it better, and what is broken and try and fix it. And as governor, I will work with anyone and everyone to get the job done for Virginians. That is what I have done my entire career. And that is the commitment to service and to